it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise. My Asexual Life is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go and post. And here I am. Yes, today we are going to do a movie review of Green Lantern. So if you haven't already seen the movie and you don't like spoilers, please do not watch this video because you will be disappointed that I've given you spoilers. But if you want to know all about Green Lantern, here we go. So Green Lantern is, of course, a superhero movie. It's done by DC Comics. Originally, that's where the concept came from. And yes, I'm pleased to report there's no sex in this movie. I'm an asexual person who's personally sex repulsed, hates nudity. And although there's a woman who shows some cleavage in it, she's not actually naked. They do make reference to the people in this story having sex previously, doing the thing they call it years ago. But they don't actually show any sex in it. So I was really happy about that and no full nudity. Now what happens is Hal, this is the guy's name, Hal. I will read this part out to you because it's quite interesting, the blurb. In a universe as vast as it is mysterious, an elite force of protectors for peace and justice has existed for centuries. These are Green Lantern Corps. When a new enemy called Parallax threatens to destroy the universe, their fate and the fate of Earth lie in the hands of the Corps' newest recruit, the first human ever selected, called Hal Jordan. And we'll be coming on to that in a minute of how he's selected. Bringing the popular superhero to the big screen for the first time. So yes, in this movie, Hal is the main character, this guy here. Right, so in the beginning, this guy is Hal. And we see him. It reminded me a bit of a film like Tom Cruise film or something, because it had basically aircraft in the beginning of it, and so basically this guy's drive is not in the green suit. He hasn't got a green suit in the beginning. He hasn't been chosen yet, and so basically he's going around in these planes. He's like he's going and doing an exercise like of warplanes, and he does something he's not supposed to do. He goes off the beaten track and he basically heads right up to the far galaxy, far away, like to the moon. He's heading higher and higher and higher, and he's gonna basically cut off the oxygen, pass out nearly if he's not careful, because the plane just can't hack being up that high. But he does beat his opponents because of it. But as he comes crashing to the ground, or almost crashing to the ground, he has visions of his father and what actually happened. His father died in a plane crash. So what actually happened is that the plane crashed down, but his father actually died in the fire that caught after the plane crash. So his son went to see him, and then the dad's plane blew up. And so he's plagued by the memory of this happening, and he's really, really kind of like not expecting it to come on while he's doing this training exercise and trying to beat his colleagues. So anyway, to cut a very long story short, we know that he's got this girlfriend, which is kind of like, I think he's off and on with her. Anyway, they still are interested in each other, but they're meant to be exes in the beginning, I think. I'm not sure if he's meant to be seeing her or not seeing her. I think he's meant to be seeing her, and then I think somewhere along the line he's not totally seeing her, and then he is. I got a bit confused about that, but basically there's a woman that's his love interest throughout the whole of this movie, and but you see them together sometimes and other times you don't. So I think he does love her, but basically I think they're meant to be off and on, because later on you find out that he's walked away from her and he walked away from the relationship. And so in the beginning he's meant to be this character that's quite flawed. He's making out that he's not afraid of anything or anyone, but then he's having flashbacks of bad memories, and he pushes away this woman he loves. He doesn't really want to talk to her about what happened up there. and she's like, you know, wanting to grow with him and develop emotionally connection with him, and it's just not on because, you know, it's not happening. And so yeah, it's kind of like later on she basically says that he doesn't like responsibility and he walks out on things, you know, and he instead of facing the truth and his fears, he instead pushes people away and will run from them and run from responsibilities and run from relationships, basically. So he's the opposite of a responsible person. He's he's irresponsible. He doesn't want responsibility. He just wants to like go. If things get too heated and hot, he wants to shut his emotions down and go, which obviously, you know, is no good for a healthy relationship, which is why this woman can't be in a proper full relationship with him in the beginning of the movie, as far as I can tell. And so anyway, all of a sudden, you know, there's this alien that comes from up above, and he is meant to be, you think, a good alien, but basically he's been struck by this enemy, the parallax. And the parallax basically works on people's fears, and it sucks people's souls out when it knows they're fearful. So it basically feeds on humans and aliens, and it just sucks their energy up from their body, so they're left with a corpse. Basically, they're dead, which is a bit gruesome. And anyway, it struck this alien that tried to get away. That the alien's been struck, and so anyway, the alien has a ring, this green ring, and it has to let the stone out of the green ring go and find someone to replace himself, to replace the alien, basically. And so the aliens crash to Earth, like injured in the spaceship, and then sets the green stone off from the ring to find someone. It finds him, and he ends up going on this energy ball and being moved through the air rapidly to this alien who's about to die and squirts purple blood. And the alien, before he dies, saying, "You're the chosen one." Basically, the ring chose you. Put it in the lantern to charge it, basically, and to go and put the lantern that's on it was in his spaceship. Go and put the stone in the lantern. You're the chosen one. You're replacing me. That was basically about it. He died, and so he then he then calls his friend, and his friend comes, and you realise that there's some trouble with this alien ring and the alien situation because there's people after them, and his friend luckily came in this big jeep and took him away from the scenario. And then anyway, he does, while it's at home on his own, he's friends with him in the beginning, then he puts the ring on and the stone just like lights up, and eventually it sucks him up into space, and he basically gets chosen as a protector of the universe and Earth to save the people from this parallax evil being. But he doesn't want the responsibility of that. He does some training, and this guy, where is it? This guy here who's like in charge of everything up there. He's like the manager type guy. He says, the guy that he replaced, who was his alien friend, and that he's a disgrace to wearing the ring because he's not good enough, basically. And and he's like, oh, you can feel, you're fearful, you're no good, and all the rest of it. So anyway, he goes back down to Earth, and he decides he's not good enough, he doesn't want to do it. And then again, you see scenes of him and the woman. Meanwhile, there's a scientist who has had access to the alien body, of which the green ring came off of. And when he's doing taking some samples off the dead alien, something squirts on him, and it then turns him into a baddie. It turns him into like working for this parallax being, but in the end it consumes him. So yeah, but it turns him into a horrible monster who tries to kill his own father, basically. His father's like in government power type thing. So anyway, there's that kind of plot going on where, he's against that guy as well as the parallax being, because the guy is like representing the parallax on Earth. And anyway, there's some really good special effects where he creates something to get this guy scientist's father out of harm's way. And so it's really, really quite clever. He's creating bridges and attaching cars to aeroplanes to save it from crashing and all this lot. It's very kind of like clever. I loved the special effects. I did love his suit. I love the superhero suit and the mask. I thought it really, really suited him. I loved that bit of the movie. And anyway, as the movie goes on, as you can imagine, the woman in his life who finds out he is actually the Green Lantern, who saved her life. Basically, he explains everything to her and says he walked away, and she goes, "Oh yeah, that sounds like you. You're always walking away." And she's like, "It's not fear that's the actual problem. That's a weakness. Fear isn't a weakness at all. It's a fact that you're afraid to admit you've got fears is your weakness. And humanity and being human is strength, meaning you will make mistakes and you're not perfect. And you have fears, but you have the courage to overcome them." And so basically, when the ring chose him, it saw something in him they didn't see within himself, and that was because he has the courage to go on in spite of fears. And that was a big, strong message in this movie, is that fear itself is not a weakness. What is a weakness is being afraid to say you're fearful, and for not trying to be courageous, and for walking away when you need to actually stand in the fear, face it head on, and be courageous in your life. And that's how we achieve things and save humanity. And so I really loved the strong message in this. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good because a lot of people say, "Oh, if you're fearful, you're weak," but everyone has fears. It's a natural part of being human. But the point is that if we can be courageous and overcome those fears, then anything is possible in life. And that's what the whole message of this was. I have to say, there was a bit on the end of this, even though it's a DC movie, not a Marvel, there was a bit on the end of this, on the credits. And it's really quite frightening because at the end of it, you find that he picks up a ring of fear that he created. And so he is the goodies throughout this movie. But on the credits, when you see the bit, he's turned bad at the end. So he'll have to fight the person that was originally the best defender before of the Guardians and Green Lantern's corpse. So yeah, I don't know if they made the second one of this. I haven't seen it, but if they have, but yeah, so that was quite interesting. But I really loved this movie. I thought the aliens were good in it. I thought the story was good. I thought it was quite a fun film to watch. I like the special effects. It has got a romantic storyline. He does get the girl in the end and kiss her, and it did make me feel hyper romantic. You know how much I'm into kissing. So, if you hate romance, you'll probably find it a bit sickening. But if you love romance, you'll probably think, "Oh, thank God they're together, kiss, kiss, kiss." And so, yeah, I really love this movie. I would recommend you watching it. It's fun. It's only certificate 12. It is fun. It says moderate fantasy violence, but I mean, it's really good fun. Love the special effects. Love him in his costume. Love the message that, basically it's not fear that's a weakness. It's being afraid to say you're afraid and being afraid of human when you should be embracing humanity and being human. And that, it's not about having no fear. It's about having the courage to get through those fears and do anything you want to do in life, achieve anything, and just be persistent and determined to succeed no matter what. And I am a great big believer and advocate in that for achieving your dreams, whatever they are. I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon. Don't forget to share it if you think someone benefit from it. Give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye.